Hey everybody, it's time to set off on another adventure. What do you get when you combine a fedora-clad adventurer, a screaming female sidekick, and outdated stereotypes? You get 1986's version of an asylum mockbuster of Indiana Jones, Allan Quatermain and the Lost City of Gold. Now, for those of you in the know, you're probably wondering why we're covering the sequel instead of the first movie, King Solomon's Mines.
Doesn't make any sense.
Well, they were filmed at the same time, and there's a twist to this one that you might enjoy.
Never in my life have I been so tempted.
The movie is basically Temple of Doom, but with all the things Temple was criticized for, cranked to 11. It was made by the Cannon Group, the company responsible for such classics as Masters of the Universe, Over the Top, and The Apple. Under the watchful eyes of Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus. In the titular role of Allan Quatermain, a fictional big game hunter who was a popular book character in the late 1800s and early 1900s, which some of you may remember as the role that caused Sean Connery to quit acting, we have Richard Chamberlain, heartthrob of the 1960s and 70s, in roles such as Dr. Kildare and multiple Three Musketeers roles, and king of the miniseries of the 80s, including The Thornbirds and Shogun. The shrieking love interest of the movie is played by a pre-megastar Sharon Stone, who would be nominated for a well-deserved Razzie for her performance, sadly losing to Madonna.
Explain what, Trust? We were buying 4 stone semi-automatic weapons at your gold car?
She got the role in the first movie when producer Menahem Golan insisted they get that stone woman. It was realized too late he meant Kathleen Turner, star of the previous year's Romancing the Stone. Rounding out the highlights of the cast is James Earl Jones in what appears to be a gritty prequel to his role in Coming to America, Henry Silva with Stage 7 Out of Control Frizz, and Elvira in a sizable role where she somehow has less lines than articles of clothing. The plot involves Quatermain and company heading off on a journey to find a lost city of gold.
Look! The lost city of Golden exists!
And Quatermain's long-lost brother, played by newcomer Martin Rabbit. Along the way, they find danger, mystery, and horrific racism. I know I often cover movies that are progressive for the time, but this ain't one of them. There's some stuff in here that even pro wrestling at the time would deem a bit too far. Also, unfortunately for an action comedy romance, the chemistry between the main leads is pretty lacking. Hell, Quatermain appears to have more chemistry with his brother in this scene.
Excuse me. Hi.
There's a good reason for that. You see, that man is his husband. Chamberlain and Rabbit had met 9 years prior and would enter into a civil union in the state of Hawaii. They remained together until 2010. Still, this remained a secret at the time of filming, and would remain until he was outed by a French magazine in 1989. In retrospect, it's about as surprising to modern audiences as the twist in The Crying Game, but the man was a fine actor, both on and off the screen. Nonetheless, this is one of the last hurrahs for him as a leading man.
I've been thinking it's time for something else.
While Stone would have her breakout performance in Total Recall 4 years later, and Jones would go on to his most successful on-screen performances during the same time frame.
I'm gonna beat you with a crowbar until you go away.
The movie itself was not successful, and part of a bad year overall for Cannon, shelving a potential sequel. But despite the negative reception, there's some entertainment here. If you can move past some of the harsher aspects and picture it as a throwback to the serials and stories that inspired it, you have a rare action movie that is both intentionally and unintentionally funny. Plus, look at these amazing special effects! Anyhow, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed. If you did, likes, subscribes, and comments much appreciated. And as always, stay safe, and happy trekking through the wilds of Amazon.